Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to break down a concept that is absolutely changing the game for network security. Cisco's Secure Access Service Edge, or SASE, as you'll hear it called. We're going to dig into how this architecture is really built for the way we work now. You know, from anywhere and everywhere. A world where that old-school castle and moat security model, well, it just doesn't work anymore.
All right, so here's the game plan for today. First, we're going to talk about why the old way of doing things is broken. Then we'll get into SASE itself as the solution. After that, we'll look at Cisco's specific vision, get our hands dirty with the tech involved, and finally, see how it all comes together in the real world.
Okay, so first things first. To really appreciate why SASE is such a big deal, we've got to understand why that traditional idea of a network perimeter is just completely falling apart.
You know, in the past, life was a lot simpler. On the left here, you see the old way. Every bit of traffic from every office had to be routed all the way back to a central data center for a security check before it could go to the internet. But now, we're in the world you see on the right, using direct internet breakout. Branches go straight to the cloud, it's way faster for sure, but it completely shatters that single security checkpoint. And that, well, that creates a ton of new problems.
This old method of backhauling traffic, it's just a recipe for disaster in today's world. It creates this massive digital traffic jam. And all of a sudden, your most important cloud apps like Microsoft 365 slow down to a crawl. It also depends on these incredibly expensive private MPLS circuits, which cost a fortune and are super slow to get set up. And the alternative? Trying to buy and manage a full stack of security gear for every single office? That's a logistical and financial nightmare, plain and simple.
So yeah, clearly the old model is broken. So what's the answer? Well, this brings us to a fundamentally new architecture, one that's designed to solve these exact problems. And this is where SASE steps in. Now, it's really important to get this. SASE is not a product. You can't just go buy a SASE box. It's a whole new philosophy. It takes all those network and security functions that used to live in your data center and delivers them as one single unified service from the cloud, specifically from the cloud edge, as close to your users as possible. This picture really nails the core concept. Instead of dragging all our traffic back to headquarters, we're moving the entire security stack, and I mean the whole thing. Firewalls, intrusion prevention, data loss prevention, you name it. We're moving it all to the cloud edge. What does that mean for your users? It means they get the exact same robust level of security, whether they're sitting in the office, at home, or grabbing coffee down the street.
Okay, I know what some of you are probably thinking right now. Hold on, isn't this just a fancy marketing term for SD-WAN with a few extra security features bolted on? And you know what? That's a completely fair question. It's a really common point of confusion, so let's clear that up right now.
This slide does a fantastic job of laying it out. See, on the left, you've got SD-WAN. Fundamentally, that's about connecting places, usually your branch offices, back to your data center. But look at SASE on the right. It's not about connecting places at all. It's about securely connecting any user on any device to any application. It was born in the cloud and has security built into its DNA from the very beginning, not just tacked on as an afterthought. All right, so now that we've got a handle on what SASE is and what it isn't, let's zoom in on Cisco's specific take on this new architecture. Cisco's whole SASE strategy is actually pretty simple to grasp because they've built it around three core principles: connect, control, and converge. Let's break down each one. Everything has to start with connect. This is the foundation, right? It's all about creating a fast, secure path for any user with any device from anywhere. For offices, this means SD-WAN. For individuals, it's secure remote access. And the whole thing is guided by this crucial principle of zero trust, which basically means we trust no one by default. We verify every single attempt to access anything. So once you're connected, you need to control what's happening on that connection. This is the security piece of the puzzle. We apply a really powerful cloud-based security stack to all the traffic. And we're not just talking about a simple firewall. This includes things like DNS layer security to block shady websites before you can even get to them, and a cloud access security broker, or CASB, which is kind of like a security guard for your cloud apps like Office 365 or Salesforce. And finally, we converge. This is where the magic really happens. It pulls connect and control together into one single integrated service that you manage from the cloud. This gets rid of the absolute nightmare of juggling dozens of different security and networking tools. Instead, you get one platform that's simpler, more scalable, and a whole lot easier to manage. So this vision of connecting, controlling, and converging everything, it sounds great, but how does Cisco actually pull it off? Let's peel back the layers and look at the key technologies that make this SASE architecture a reality.
At the absolute heart of Cisco's security strategy is Cisco Umbrella. The best way to think about it is as your security command center in the cloud. It's one platform that bundles all these critical functions together. DNS security, a web gateway, a firewall, CASB, the works. And notice how the SD-WAN fabric intelligently steers traffic right to the Umbrella cloud. That's where all the security inspection happens, offloading the work from the branch.
This slide really brings the whole ecosystem into focus. It's like a three-part harmony. First, you've got Umbrella setting the security policy for all traffic. Second, you have the AnyConnect client on the user's device, making sure they have a secure on-ramp to that security cloud. And third, you have Cisco Duo acting as the gatekeeper, using multi-factor authentication to prove you are who you say you are and checking to make sure your device is healthy before it lets you in. It's all those pieces working together to make zero trust happen.
But, how do you make sure everything is actually working? In this SASE world, your traffic is crossing networks you don't even own, like the public internet. That's where Cisco Thousand Eyes comes in. It's like having a high-tech GPS for your network traffic, giving you total end-to-end visibility. It can spot performance problems before your users even notice, and can even tell the SD-WAN to automatically route traffic around a problem area. It's pretty amazing.
All right, so the theory is solid, but what does this look like day to day? Let's put all these components together and walk through two super common scenarios where SASE really shines.
First up, the classic branch office. With SASE, we can create what's called a thin branch. Forget about having a giant rack of expensive security equipment. Now, all you need is a simple SD-WAN router. That router creates a secure tunnel straight to the Cisco Umbrella cloud, and all the heavy lifting for security, the firewalling, the web filtering, all of it is done there. This makes the branch incredibly simple and fast to set up, while still getting world-class security.
And now for the modern remote worker. The AnyConnect client on their laptop automatically directs all their web traffic through that same powerful Umbrella security cloud. But what about accessing private apps back in the corporate network? That's when Cisco Duo steps in, acting like a smart security guard to verify their identity and the health of their device before opening the door. It's just seamless, secure access to everything they need, no matter where they're working from.
And at the end of the day, that really brings us to the ultimate goal here. This isn't just about technology for technology's sake. It's about achieving a really simple but incredibly powerful business outcome, giving your people fast, secure access to the tools they need to do their jobs, period. It's all about enabling business to move quickly and securely in a totally distributed world. So this massive shift to a SaaS architecture leaves us with one final thought to chew on. With our apps living in the cloud and our users, well, they're everywhere. Does the idea of a single defined perimeter around a building even make sense anymore? It seems like a relic from a different era. The real question isn't if the perimeter is obsolete, but rather how quickly can we all adapt to this new reality where identity, not location, is the new perimeter.